let's talk about glasses. Hello everyone, welcome back to Whisky Monster. I'm Koray and today we'll be talking about the glassware. Yes, the kind that can totally change your whiskey experience. When you drink whiskey, you're not just tasting it, you're seeing it, you're smelling it, you're feeling the weight of the glass in your hand. The shape and the design of the glass can totally alter the flavors coming from the whiskey. It can expand the flavors or just mute everything down. So that's why glassware is totally important. Last week I made an Instagram reel showing the glassware in 2 minutes. That was quite short, so I had the need to make another video for YouTube to tell you a little bit longer about the glassware, the pros and the cons. So let's get through it. Let's start with the classic, the Glencairn Glass. Glencairn Glass has become a gold standard in the whiskey industry over the years. If you have been to any proper whiskey tastings, you probably use this glass at least once. And it is due to the shape, but also the affordability, which will come in a second. But let's go deep in the shape. When you look at the glass, it has a wider body and a narrow rim that concentrates the flavor and delivers to your nose in the best way. So you can understand and have more flavors. And also, when you're sipping it, you don't lose the eye contact, which is really important while socializing. And Glencairn was only founded in 2001. It feels such longer than that. And also the prices from the top of my mind is under $10, which is an incredible price range. Over the years, there were a lot of variations of Glencairn. One day we had the black and blue ones for blind tasting. I love the crystal one because it's heavy and stylish. I even had an oak one. I don't suggest this one because you don't see spirit inside, but also it leaks. My friend one day made actually a 3D printing for me, for my old brand. Very durable, incredible for travels, but also again, I prefer glass and I suggest you to use glass too. But when we talk about Glencairn, and if we have to list the pros, there are a lot of pros. The shape, the price, the availability on internet that you can find in the stores, they're all good, and I don't have any cons for this glass actually. It's a 10 over 10. Good job. Next up is the Copita Glass, which is another popular glass in the industry, but mainly behind the scenes. The blenders, they love it. The sherry industry, they love it. The winemakers, they love it. And it has slightly a narrow body, but again, the logic is the same. Larger body, narrow rim. And this also has a stem so that your hand actually doesn't heat the spirit and alter the flavors. Again, a great nosing performance. You don't lose the eye contact, which is an incredible glassware. And if you have seen the famous video of Richard Patterson sniffing it, putting his nose and throwing a blended Scotch whiskey away, you already know this glass. In my opinion, it's perfect for casual sipping, but as well as sipping at the tastings. Sipping a lot of different spirits also, just not whiskey. It's beautiful for cognac, armagnac, calvados, and I do use this whiskey for my daily job too, so that's another 10 over 10 for me. Good old Tumbler. It is a great whiskey glass. If you have a bottle of whiskey, you probably have one of these or another style of this, not exceptionally. This is a prototype, so I don't think you have one of these. But Tumbler is a joy to drink from. It is heavy usually. It is great for sipping, not losing the eye contact. You can put a big old rock in that and enjoy your whiskey if you like it with ice. But the only thing, if you are tasting whiskey, this is not the best because it doesn't concentrate on the flavors. You might lose some flavors when you are sipping it. So in my opinion, if you are going to sip and understand or review a whiskey, Tumbler shouldn't be your first choice, but for sipping it, for casually drinking whiskey, it is one of the best options. I will put it 9.5 over 10. Next one is a stunning glassware. I cannot tell you how much I love this glass. It is Highland whiskey glass from Nude Glass. But actually, if you Google it, you will see that it comes in two forms. One is taller, one is shorter. I couldn't find the best usage for the tall one, so I will eliminate this from the conversation and focus on the shorter one. So the Highland whiskey glass from Nude Glass is an incredible one. The shape, the design is stunning. It has wider body again, narrow rim, opening up on the top a little bit. The weight is so light, and the stem is so elegant, so thin, you don't even feel that. For nosing, it's incredible. You don't lose the eye contact. The only con might be the price, but sometimes we have to pay the price. So my rating is 10 over 10. Let's go to some modern options. This is the professional glass from VESL, also known as Wonders of Whiskey. It is an incredible glassware. When I am doing reviews, I actually try to use it with another glassware just to concentrate on the flavor as well. Because if you can see that this has a bulb shaped body, which is wider than the rim, and the rim is quite narrow, so that you can actually concentrate on the flavors a lot. And when I want to dig in and get more flavors to the whiskey, when I want those small details, I usually use the professional glass. The only problem with this glass, great for nosing. For sipping, you have to lift it a lot, so you actually lose the eye contact. So casual sipping, not the very best glass, but for nosing, incredible one. And over some time, the producers also came up with the Fior, which is kind of a stemless version, but there's still a heavy stem, and I like the weight in that. Technically, they have the same shape, but it's an incredible glass. If you're not a big fan of stems, this is also a wonderful option. My rating for both of them is probably 9 out of 10. Next one, Denver and Liley from Australia. And big love to my friend Denver in Australia. So this glass came over years ago, and this is the whiskey glass, and has been a star in the industry. And this is a great whiskey to casually sip or have a conversation around. It has a wider body again, narrower rim. You don't lose any eye contact. You can smell everything. The biggest con for me is the size of the glass, because when we are tasting, we are usually having around 1 ounce or maybe 1.25 of an ounce, and when you put it in the whiskey, this doesn't fill most of the glass, and it feels like there's not a lot of whiskey inside, so it makes it a little bit harder during tasting. But for casual sipping, this is an amazing whiskey. On the other hand, they came up with the bourbon glass a couple years later. I am a big fan of this one. This glass has heavy stem, feels amazing in the hand, a little bit smaller body, smaller volume, great for bourbon. I love to use this for bourbon. You don't lose the eye contact, incredible one. Con might be the price, however, it is very well for the price, and I love using it over the years. Thank you, Denver. Thank you, Denver and Liley. My point is 9 out of 10. During my Instagram video, I realized that I don't have a couple glasses in hand, and one of them is the Nude glass. It is a controversial one. It claims to reduce ethanol but enhance the aroma, clarity, and it does. It is a great glass, but the shape doesn't make it fun for me to sip or nose the whiskey, and it being in your hand actually makes the temperature higher in no time, because your hand just transmits some heat into the glass. But yes, it eliminates some of the ethanols while you're tasting it because of the large rim. I will say I've rated it 7.5 out of 10. And another modern one, the Norlan whiskey glass. This is a double wall one, so inside there's actually void, and inside the glass you will see there's again body, narrower rim, but they're probably at the same size. It also reminds me of the design of Turkish Tea Glass. So that's an interesting one. But the feeling of the glass in your hand is amazing. I hardly use it for tasting over the years. Probably that's also because of the price, because it's quite expensive. But at the same time, it covers a lot of space on the tasting tables. So I don't use it often for tasting, but for casual sipping, this is a great glass. I do love to use it time to time. My rating will be 7.5 out of 10. Let's get to the elephant in the room. Turkish Tea Glass. This came out of nowhere over the last decade. A company, I think a Canadian company, came out with, we came with the best design for a whiskey glass, and this is this. And they were selling it, if I'm not wrong, for $22. This is a typical Turkish tea glass. You can find it for 50 cents in Turkey. Everybody uses this at home. At the cafes, we drink tea with that all day. I can see the logic. Body, rim, same logic. You can similarly leave it. This glass is so fun. This is from a Turkish company, but it was actually used at Whiskeys of the World over the years ago in San Francisco, and I took one just as a memory. If you have no options, use it. If you don't, just drink tea with it. It's a tea glass. Tea glass. My rating is 10 out of 10 because I'm Turkish, but it's a tea glass used for tea. If you go back to my interview with Michael Stevenson from Compass Box that I released a couple of weeks ago, you will see that we are actually using wine glasses to taste. And there is nothing wrong with it. A white wine glass with a kind of a smaller size will do everything for you. This is a glass from IKEA that I bought probably 7 years ago for $2. I don't think they produce this anymore, but there are a lot of, similarities with the glasses they have at the store right now. This is a great one. Wider body, narrow rim, and this is a wine glass, so you never lose the eye contact. It's a beautiful glass, and if you have a glassware like this will work. You don't have to pay $60, $70 or even $10. You can just go and use these glasses at home. All these glasses are created to enhance your whiskey experience, but it is not the only solution. If you have a bad whiskey, these glasses won't do anything. But also, if you don't have the best company, neither whiskey nor the glasses will do anything. So please make sure that you are having a nice whiskey before the glasses, but most importantly, have the best company to do that. Sláinte. Enjoy your day.